A recent independent report has indicated Governor Dauda Lawal and Abba Kabir Yusuf of Zamfara and Kano State as a major sponsor of the recent held national protest. The report condemned the role played by the two governors in escalating the protest into violent and destructive actions. The report released by the Independent Coalition for Democratic Governance in Nigeria reveals a disturbing pattern of political thuggery and exploitation of public unrest for personal gain. According to the report, the governors of Zamfara and Kano State, both from the opposition party, People's Democratic Party (PDP), mobilized hoodlums to target political rivals, wreak havoc on public and private properties, as well as looting of valuables. The report specifically highlights the destruction of APC secretariat in Zamfara State, the vandalism of the Nigerian Communication Commission's industrial park in Kano, and the attempted destruction of the residence of the immediate past governor of Zamfara State. The report's findings suggest that the protest, which began as a peaceful expression of discontent with the government's economic policies, were hijacked by anti-democratic forces and opposition elements seeking to destabilize the government. The actions of the Zamfara and Kano State governors have been widely condemned as a blatant attempt to exploit public unrest for personal and political gain.
In addition to the destruction of public properties, numerous private and government-owned stores throughout the city were looted, food items and other essential commodities were taken away. However, despite the realization of the curfew, some protesters continued to wreak havoc, with some even spotted brandishing Russian flags during the ongoing demonstration. Tragically, the unrest resulted in the loss of several lives in Kano State. In Edo State, there were roadblocks. The Edo State Police Command subsequently intervened and subverted that. In Bauchi, only in Katagun local government area characterized by the destruction of public property. In Kaduna State, it was the same thing, not as bad as it was in certain states. In Zamfara, while other states were diligently working to either prevent the demonstration of the protest or ensure its peaceful nature, the Zamfara state government paradoxically spearheaded the mobilization of hoodlums to protest against the administration of the incumbent government. In a brazen display of political thuggery, the state government employed notorious thugs affiliated with the party in government to unleash their havoc upon the federal government. Residences in Kaura and Moda, numerous variables, and were destroyed, and many things were taken out of control. The hoodlums, seemingly emboldened by the state government's tacit support, went on a rampage, forcibly breaking into the secretariat of the ruling federal government located along Sokoto bypass, and then shattering glasses and other things, and many other destructive tendencies. It would have been prudent for Governor Lawal to collaborate with all stakeholders to calm the situation and welcome President Tinubu's offer of negotiation concerning the protest. However, his actions suggest that he harbors personal underlying motivations that prioritize his own interests over the stability of the government. We say that many people misunderstood the president's broadcast on the fourth day, while he made it understandable that the protest was not supposed to be targeted only at the federal, based on what the federal government has done and released to various states to cushion the effect of what Nigerians are complaining about.
The Independent Coalition for Democratic Governance in Nigeria called on the federal government to take decisive action to address the demands of the protesters, prevent future occurrence of such destructive protests, and hold accountable those responsible for the violence and destructions.
We should take it as a responsibility and a role of us as individuals and groups that the initial grievances and demands of the protest appear to have been supplanted by a mere sinister agenda, one that seeks to exploit the unrest for political gain. By addressing these issues, the government can regain the trust of Nigerians and create a more stable and prosperous future. The citizens are further urged not to present themselves as a tool in the hands of anti-democratic actors who are only after their own political selfish agenda and gains. In the light of these findings, the recommendations provided are intended to serve as a guiding framework for the federal government, enabling it to effectively address the demands of the protesters and prevent future occurrences of such destructive protests. It is imperative that the government gives due consideration to these findings and take decisive actions to establish a more transparent, accountable, and inclusive governance system in Nigeria, thereby ensuring the continued prosperity and stability of the nation. There exists compelling evidence to unequivocally suggest that the protest had been commandeered by nefarious elements who have exploited the situation to perpetuate attacks on political opposition, engage in rampant looting, and wreak havoc on both private and public properties. This bad turn of events serves as a stark statement to the fact that nationwide protests are often hijacked by anti-democratic forces and opposition elements